Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Claster, and I would like to welcome you to my PowerPoint presentation. Our topic for this presentation is we'll be focusing on climatology, mainly focusing on the composition and structure of the atmosphere and all the different types of layers of the atmosphere. So next slide is the lesson objectives. So basically the outcome at the end of this lesson, learners should be able to identify the gases that makes up the atmosphere, name and describe the 5 atmospheric layers, explain the importance of the atmosphere, describe how human activities affect the atmosphere, like what we as humans do, how does it negatively affect the atmosphere and the earth. What is the atmosphere? The atmosphere is the layer of gases that surrounds the Earth. It protects living organisms by number 1, providing oxygen for breathing, number 2, regulating temperature, protecting the Earth from harmful ultraviolet rays, burning up meteors before they reach the Earth. So over here we have a little table that is the composition of the atmosphere. The one column represents the gases, the other column the percentage. So nitrogen at 78%, oxygen 21%, argon at 0.93%, carbon dioxide at 0.04%, and some other gases that also makes up the composition of the atmosphere, and they come in small amounts. So interesting fact, without oxygen and carbon dioxide, life on Earth would not exist. So now we will unpack the different layers of the atmosphere. We're going to start from lowest to highest. The lowest layer of the atmosphere is troposphere, then we get stratosphere, then we get mesosphere, thermosphere, and then exosphere. So right here I've inserted a little diagram to give us a small visual of the layers of the atmosphere and where exactly it falls. So now we get into the characteristics of the different type of layers of the Earth. So the troposphere is where the weather occurs and contains most of the air that we breathe. The stratosphere contains the ozone layer. The mesosphere, is where meteors burns. The thermosphere, auroras occur here. And the exosphere, the outermost layer, satellites orbit around the Earth. So that is where all that is happening in the exosphere. So the importance of the atmosphere. What we need to know about the atmosphere is that it makes life possible. It protects the Earth, it regulates temperatures, produces weather and climate, and because it produces weather and climate, it supports the water cycle. So over here, we'll get into the human impact on the atmosphere. So what we as humans do that impacts the atmosphere negatively, whether it's positively. Examples include air pollution. Air pollution, how do we do air pollution? Through cars, the smoke of factories, all that negatively impacts the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases, global warming, the ozone depletion. So, question that we can ask ourselves is, put a little question here, is how we can reduce air pollution. So after all that knowledge we got, which was very short, you can, after presenting the presentation, sign your learners up or tell your learners, put them into groups, working groups, have them work with partners, and give them an activity to test their knowledge on what they've just learned. Match each strophic layer with its correct description, like a little table with the description and the different layers. Then answer, why is the atmosphere important for the earth of life? That's the main question and answer that we need to know. First things first, before we get into all of that, what do you think? Why it's important? Why the atmosphere is important for life on Earth? So, just a little summary of what we learned. We've learned. We've learned the composition of the atmosphere. We've unpacked the 5 atmospheric layers, the importance of the atmosphere, and how we as humans affect the atmosphere, what impact we have on the atmosphere. So after all that, we can also have then a little code course right here. Here's the link. You can click the link and it will have, when you click the link, you will go into a little course that I have created. So just to basically test your knowledge on what you've just learned. A little fun, short and sweet course.